Michelle, as a personal trainer, what advice would you give to someone that's trying to get started?
Okay. A lot of advice, but I'll narrow it down to a few things. So if you're kind of a beginner or you've been not into the fitness or health thing for a while, or even if you are currently doing some things but you want to reach the next level, I would say three things. So first, get clear on why you want it. Like imagine yourself in that place where you would like to be, feel it, get excited about that because that really creates that motivation to do something about it. And then number two, I will say set realistic expectations because a lot of the times people either expect themselves to make progress so quickly and then they get discouraged when they don't make it as fast as they want. Or they expect there's this maybe mindset that, okay, now I'm doing something good. This should be easy, or I'm not going to encounter any obstacles or struggles because, hey, I'm doing something good for myself. But it's quite the opposite. You're going to face lots of obstacles and struggles, and just learning how to navigate that with patience and determination. And then number three, I will say, I might not have said this earlier, like in the past, but I really believe you should get help because there are others who have done exactly what you're trying to do, who've been there before, or who have worked with people who've been exactly where you have been. And like we said, like their whole life revolves around helping people like you. So it saves you so much time, it saves you so much energy. And when you do hit those roadblocks, you'll have some support there to help you along the way. So
Definitely, it's
whatever
kind
that
of like
looks
a
like for you. Sorry.
yeah, it's kind of like a GPS, right? So I mean, at some point in time, we used to have maps, and that was the guide. But now you have a GPS that could tell you exactly where the traffic is. It might be a route that you already know how to get there, but the GPS tells you, hey, there's some traffic around the way. Maybe you should take a different route, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
sure.
Exactly. Getting help, whatever that looks like for you. It might be like you might not need so much help, but you should get some, or maybe you need like lots of guidance and support, one on one individual help. I would say the more help you get, the easier it's going to be for you. All right. What advice would you give to someone as a financial planner, someone who is trying to improve their finances and maybe reach a goal?
Stick to the recipe.
Stick to the
um,
recipe.
yeah, definitely. So, I'm saying that kiddingly, but jokingly, but stick to the plan. Sometimes it gets really, really boring. It's a lot more fun to go to a casino and lose $1,000 than it is to make $1,000 in the market, unfortunately. So stick to the plan even when things get boring. And as an example, like I have some clients that basically they're doing really well for themselves in their career. um, by all projections, they almost don't even need anybody to work with because they're saving everything that they need to be saving. They're on track to be able to retire in the next 15 years. And then boom, all of a sudden they have an idea and it's like, oh man, I really want to go on and start a business. But why do you really want to start a business? Well, I think that I could get all this income and I could retire sooner and all of these things will happen a little bit faster. That's kind of what I mean by stick to the plan, right? There's nothing wrong with being ambitious. By all means, I'm a business owner as well, but sometimes it's the wrong reasons. Sometimes it's just that boredom of, okay, I'm saving 15%, I'm doing this, I'm investing every month, I'm managing my investments, I'm paying down my debt, and you get tired of the monotony, and it just seems like you want to do something a little bit more grand, earn a lot more income, but if you're gonna go down the road of doing something ambitious, you still have to make sure you're like keeping all the successful behaviors in place. So the amount of money that you're saving, if that's $15,000 a year or $10,000 a year or whatever towards retirement, you need to be able to start that business and still continue doing that and still maintain the income that you have to maintain your household so that you don't end up going backwards. So that's
Hmm.
what I really mean by sticking with the plan and working through that boredom. Yeah, so the other part is really just sometimes things seem so distant. I think you mentioned it earlier as well. So the results of the plan seem so distant that that's what leads to that, want to change or do something that, makes things happen a little bit faster. Like right now with investments, if you invest in a diversified portfolio and you're putting enough money into that portfolio, you're probably going to accomplish your retirement goals. You're going to have enough money for retirement as long as you're saving enough, right? But if you were to invest in the latest cryptocurrency of the day, that's a wild ride. And you're looking at some of your friends that are making $20,000, $30,000 in a single year doing these things, and it really is enticing to go ahead and jump ahead and do that. but hear a lot of stories that are equally like exciting as far as how much money people are making, and scary from how much money people have lost in a single year as well, right? So sometimes you just have to maintain focus and keep your head down on the boring items and just continue doing them for the long term, and just know that you're going to get the results, which is really the last point there. You need to create a plan to be able to stick with it, right? You need to create a plan that one you believe in. Going back to the Google trap, as you call it, I love that expression. You know, on Google, you're going to be able to find a lot of different ideas on how to accomplish a particular goal. And if you're the type of person that continues chasing the new shiny ball and changing that goal or changing your strategy every single year based on the latest information that you found out, you're probably not going to have any long-term success. It takes that routine, it takes that boredom, it takes that repetitive action to really accomplish your goal. So setting up a plan and believing in that plan and sticking with that plan is probably the most important advice I could give someone just starting out.
And that parallels too with like fitness because people want the exciting new diet or the new workout program or the new equipment or whatever is promises. Like marketing is pretty powerful, right? And people are like,
Sure.
oh, really? This one thing is going to make me lose 10 pounds in 10 days. Oh, yeah, I want that. Whereas that's not where the long term success is. So you have to be willing to put in the boring, little work every day.
Exactly, definitely. The
Okay.
successful strategies probably almost don't even need to be marketed, I guess, in that regard, right? They're the
Um,
boring things that people do regularly.
yep, yep. Like brushing our teeth and washing our face is not really exciting, but we got to do it, right?
Exactly, exactly.
So, as a financial planner, how can you help someone reach their financial goals and keep them on track towards where they want to be?
Yeah, definitely. So it's in the name, right? Financial planner, that I provide a plan. But really, what the plan is, or the steps that you need to be taking, right? So imagine if you're trying to build a long term habit, what are the daily habits that get you to that long term habit? Um, I help them decide on what steps they need to be taking each month, maybe each quarter or each year to actually accomplish that goal that might be decades away, that they can't even fathom how exactly it's going to come together. I help them decide what those steps are going to be. The second thing is really the accountability. There's going to be a point in time where we all have doubts about, are the things that we're doing now going to accomplish, what we want in the future? Because especially with retirement, there's a lot at stake, right? If you get it wrong and you think you're doing all the right things, but you're not, that could mean a much different retirement than what you're envisioning, right?
Hmm.
So sometimes people lose faith in the plan. My job is to make sure that they can maintain that faith in the plan through actual analysis and accountability to the plan as well. And the last thing is advice. Things are going to change. There's going to be days when you can't accomplish the things that you need to do, or maybe even years where things are just not going your way. My job is to provide that advice as far as, well, what do you do now? How do you get back on track? How do we salvage the situation to make the most of it? Sometimes, you can't turn a bad situation positive in a single year, but you could stop it from getting a lot worse, right? And that's my job to help make sure that that happens and we make the best of every situation that we have. How do you, as a personal trainer, help someone accomplish their goals?
So, I'll start by saying what I cannot do for you because I think sometimes people go to a program or a coach and they expect, you know, hey, I'm paying this money, I'm putting in this effort, you should solve my problems. But I can't work out for anyone, I can't eat for anyone, I can't think for anyone or speak for anyone. And I think that independence, like fostering that independence in my clients is really important because they learn that they're capable. But I can provide, encouragement, support, and like you said, what's really key is like the steps. What are the steps to take? Start here and then you go here and you go here. This is the path to success. Like I can give you the tools, I can give you accountability, the workouts, all of the guidance that you can apply to your own life. I like to think of it as like, okay, you're on a journey. I'll give you, here's the map, here's the compass, here's the tools that you need. Now you have to go travel, and I'll be there for you when you need me. But this is your journey, and here's the path. And if you want to
Yeah.
go on it, that's your choice. But I'm here if you want my help. Like I like to see it like that.
Yeah, I love that. And going back to your first point on that, I found in my own practice that sometimes clients think that the beginning and last step is actually just hiring a financial planner, like you
Yeah.
just said, right? So they feel like the act of doing it, like, oh, everything's taken care of now. Well, nope, that's just the beginning, right? So
Right. Exactly. Okay, so if you could share one thing to the person who's listening that could be the biggest lever of change in their finances that could bring them progress, what would that be?
Yeah, learn to enjoy the process. I would say learn to enjoy the process. That's the most important thing. Sometimes we have this excitement over what the end result is going to be, and I can tell you the truth. In many cases, you'll accomplish that end result, and there's not going to be this big champagne party at the end of it, right? You'll just be like, "Well, I accomplished this result, and I
Yeah.
expected to accomplish this result," right? So enjoy the process, because in many cases, once you've accomplished something, people are more than interested in the story of how you accomplished it, but maybe not that thing that you accomplished itself, right? So enjoy that journey and the process of getting there.
Yeah. Mine is actually similar. I would say the biggest, you know, thing that you could change or in your mindset or just seeing things a different ways is to realize there's no end game. Like there's no end. Like we're all constantly learning and growing. So yeah, maybe you do have a goal, maybe to lose a certain amount of weight, but once you reach that, what's the next goal? Like and then the goal after that, and then the goal after that, and your life is changing, so your goals will change. But just realizing that you're never going to arrive and trying to be continuously better
For
in a
sure.
way that aligns with your life and your values, and then yeah, in turn enjoying the process.
Absolutely. Definitely. I love it.
Yeah, we're kind of similar there.
For sure.
Randall, where can people find you?
Yeah, so basically, people could find me at bostonintegrity.com. And if someone's basically at the point where they are committed to accomplishing their long-term goals, but they're just trying to figure out what exact steps they need to get there, then they could go to that website, choose the schedule a meeting link, and set up a time to have an initial consultation. What we'll accomplish on that consultation essentially is we're going to review what your goals are, see whether or not you're on track to accomplish them, and if you're not on track, help create a step-by-step process as far as what you need to do to get back on track.
Sounds good.
That made it a lot easier. Thank you. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
So, all right, cool. So I'll ask you the same question. All right. So Michelle, where can people find out a little bit more about you as a personal trainer and possible next steps?
Yeah, so you could find me on social media. I'm at Michelle and Roscoe on Instagram and Facebook. You can also go to my website. You can go to go.emmaroscoe.com home, and there you'll find some resources, some free resources for you, depending on what your goals are and what your needs are. You can also learn more about the program. I offer a 25-week program that gives you all the steps laid out and the support and the tools, the map basically that you need to reach whatever goals you have to become the healthiest you've ever been and live the life that you deserve.
Yeah, I'll let you go first on that
I'm
one.
excited to hear yours too.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so crazy because you're bringing up other things that are completely like when you're talking about like, oh, I'll wait till blah 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 to get ready. It's like, yeah, exactly. I hear that all the time. It's so there's so many parallels.
In some degree, I think that's what it is, maybe. It's just that we are advisors, and that's what ties all of these things together, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. Because we know the ins and outs of this. Like this is our life. People who
For sure.
they come to us because they don't want to make this their life, you know.
For sure. And we have the benefit of seeing like other people make the same mistakes as well, right? So it's like you've seen this problem 1,000 times,
Yep.
right? So
Yep.
although each person is unique, like the circumstances that lead to their issues, like probably aren't so unique. It's probably everybody is dealing with the same problems. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So
Yep. Exactly. Completely. Yeah, that's why these principles are helpful because they apply to most people.
for sure,
Right.
definitely.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. I think I could, take out some parts, and I think even maybe at the end, I was thinking it'd be fun, like after the call to action, maybe adding some of like the parts where we were
Bloopers?
just ad-libbing a little bit. Yeah, something like that.
I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good.
Let's do that. Because when you talk, I get so enthralled in what you're saying, I forget, and I don't want to be thinking about what I'm gonna say next. So
Can you hear that sound in the background? Can you hear anything
no,
in the
I
background?
can't hear anything.
Okay, good. You're good.
I don't like where that went. Oh my gosh.
You're doing. People want to know. Okay, what's this one thing I could?
For sure, I love it. I love it. Yeah, actions you're currently taking and how that is getting you to or not getting you to. Oh, sorry. at that point because we took an hour to record it. The video might be 40 minutes. I was still hoping for 10, but the video.